Okay, good morning. Karibu sana to Daybreak again. It's now 17 minutes to 7 o'clock, and it's time to engage on conversations of what's informing public discourse. I have in studio Beatrice Alachi, the CAS at the Public Service and Gender Affairs Ministry. Karibu sana to the show.
Thank you.
We have Senator Ledama Olekina from Narok. He's been away. He'll be telling us why he has been away. Then we have Anthony, sorry, Kimani Ichung'wah from Kikuyu.
Hamjambo watazamaji.
I actually forgot that we don't officially call you that name. So Kimani Ichung'wah, karibu sana to the show.
Thank you, Sam.
Senator Ledama, where have you been? It's a long time since we saw you. The last we heard of you is at a time that you're very much opposed to what's now is back at the Court of Appeal, that is the BBI. Where have you been? What have you been up to?
I was creating wealth and creating employment for my youth in Narok. And I found it to be more engaging, more progressive, rather than just yapping out loud and not seeing where we're going. And I love it. And
How have you been creating wealth?
Creating jobs opportunities for my youth in terms of making sure that they use their talent to invest in locally available opportunities in terms of realigning their own existing resources in the dairy sector and also in the construction industry. So that's what I've been doing.
That's interesting. We should get to hear more of that. Of course, excuse me, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah has been around. We've had him in our studios, as well as Beatrice Alachi. I want us to begin by looking at the two dailies. And the front page there is Rally Here to Stay. Unforgiving, relentless, with the sting at the end. The 2021 Safari Rally lived up to tradition, with Frenchman Sebastien Ogier snatching victory from Belgian Thierry Neuville on its 50 kilometers to the finish and securing a 21.8 second lead over Toyota teammate Takamoto Katsuta. And Kenyans welcomed the announcement that the rally is here to stay. Of course, the president saying that there's an agreement that it will be in Kenya or be held in Kenya until at least 2026. Then still on the front page of the Standard, Safari Rally here to stay. That's the main story there. You see the president and the winner. And then another story there, not a day more, says ODM on Uhuru term. Can next year's polls be delayed to allow BBI proposals to pass? Yesterday, Royalist Party said a big no to calls for extension of Uhuru's term, joining the DP and allies in trashing any plans to alter the calendar. Let me begin with the rally here to stay. And Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, why are you in Naivasha? Or is it Vasha?
No. How?
And why not?
How do I get to Naivasha? To watch cars racing?
Yeah.
Well, you know, when I was growing up, Sam, and I was just telling my daughters the other day, this was the Easter season entertainment for us. And we would climb on trees near our homesteads were around Gitaro when the rally cars were departing from KICC going up country. Now in conservancies, private conservancies, some of us don't know how to get there.
Senator Ledama, why are you in Naivasha? Did you follow the
proceedings? No. I wasn't in Naivasha or Vasha. Neither did I follow the proceedings. I was busy. I had attended a fundraiser for a sick patient in Oloropil ward, where is my constituency. And I spend more time with my people, you know, interacting with the constituency. I think I'm still cognizant of the fact that COVID is real. And that, in my view, was a huge super spreader event. And I think if I was to participate in it, I'd get more
for the
satisfaction
fans
for the fans. Because I mean, you could see the traffic jam from Mtarakwa all the way to Naivasha. It was a nightmare. So really, I enjoyed spending time with my constituents and just.
But you don't believe it's in any way significant for the country, the
well, I mean, at the moment, in my view, it's neither here nor there. I think we have more problems to worry about. We have COVID. We seem to have forgotten COVID. And look at what is happening in Kisumu. You know, more people are dying now. In fact, the numbers are not what they appear to be portrayed out by the ministry. The ministry has completely renegade on their duty. So really, for me, I'd rather spend the time with my people trying to raise more awareness of COVID and also trying to encourage them to continue creating wealth. So
Okay.
that's what I spend time doing.
Okay, and for you, CAS, any significance that the rally will be here until at least 2026?
First of all, just to thank that indeed they've believed back in Kenya, that there's a country in Africa where you can come and do your race. It brings back the days when, yes, as Mheshimiwa says, we used to line up to watch. When it started at Kasarani, you could see how Kenyans were excited. And we know there's COVID, and we are very aware about that. But today I want to speak to Kenyans in this manner, that it is me. It starts with me. Government will tell you to stay home, but if you come on the street, we cannot now start saying government should be beating people because they've lined up in the streets. We cannot stop. When the country was on lockdown, it is the same Kenyans who started fighting. We've locked our country, we are killing economy, we are doing this. Now we have to try to live with the disease, with the pandemic, because we don't know when it will end. But every Kenyan should be responsible. That when I am with someone, I should know I have a mask, I should know there's social distancing, and appreciate that's how we have to live. So first of all, we want to really thank the Ministry of Sports and really thank the President that yes, Safari Rally is back. It is in Kenya. It will boost our tourism. Even them themselves go home with a different magical image that what they saw in Kenya. I was happy to see Senator's constituency. There were many there. They celebrated. They helped even to build that magical for Kenya. And we always appreciate that. And so for me, it does not mean it is wrong to be in Naivasha or Vasha just because the president was there. You know, if you have an issue with the president, don't bring it to ground it on Kenya. No. Let's build our country as Kenya. You have a personal issue with the president, you will deal with that one. But for the sake of Kenya, that is for 47 to 50 tribes, let us build our country knowing very well. And let us ensure
Can we
continue
just respond to
safe.
that, please?
Okay.
Can you respond to that?
Honorable Ishongwa, what's your response to this? Do you think there's any significance, especially for the global positioning of the country?
Definitely, yes, and even for tourism is a good thing. But that doesn't mean I was looking down, reading the paper, then I just heard what Beatrice is saying.
Yeah.
There's a problem with this psychophancy with some of these people. Because it doesn't mean because the president is somewhere, we must all go lining up behind him. We were busy elsewhere, and I think my brother here has said he was busy in his constituency. I was busy in my constituency and elsewhere.
I didn't know
and
you had an issue.
Please, I was quiet when you were speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, just go ahead.
It's a decorum.
Okay.
It's a decorum and arrogance
Just go
that comes
ahead,
with
make your
Jubilee.
response.
This Jubilee hawks.
How man
I
can
was saying
trigger you
some-
in the morning?
I was saying, I would really take offense that Beatrice may think that Kenyans who are not in Naivasha are not supportive of the president. We are supportive of the president every time and any time he does what is good for the country. But we have no time for sycophancy. If and when the president is not right, we tell him as it is, because that is our responsibility. And that is what is patriotism, Beatrice. Being patriotic doesn't mean that I support the president. It means I support country. And I support country when Safari Rally comes to support the Kenyan economy, that largely is on its knees, then I am in support of Safari Rally. But that doesn't mean because if I can't make it to Vasha, I just can't make it. If the rally cars passed by my home or by Kikuyu, where I was attending a church service yesterday, maybe I would have had an opportunity to get there. But Ledama has just told you the kind of traffic that was headed to Naivasha. And also maybe to sound off, and maybe just join Beatrice in sounding off a word of caution to Kenyans, that in all these social events and even the political events that we attend, we have a personal responsibility to take care of ourselves in terms of this disease, this COVID pandemic.
Sam, one of my biggest pet peeves is name dropping. I mean, we're having a discussion here, giving our views in terms of the value of Safari Rally in Kenya. There's nowhere in that conversation did you bring it, the issue of the president being there. So I think it's, name dropping is really, it's not supposed to be something good.
Okay.
When you're discussing something which is very important. I gave my views, I gave my sentiments as to why I did not participate in the rally. I did not, you know, waste my time going there. It has got nothing to do with the president. So I think let us be focused on what we, you know, whenever you ask a question, I think if you don't hear it well, ask them to repeat the question. Because I mean, it will help us, you know.
Let's make progress.
Mind you, some of us didn't even know whether the president was there. I don't even know where he was.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Honorable
And I
Ishmael.
don't
I
care
can
where
assure
he
you, if you look at the front page of
Then
the
you
Daily
don't
Nation
need
and
to
the
be
Standard,
angered.
just hold on, Honorable Elachi. On the front page of
But
the
I
Daily
like
Nation,
they came back to appreciate
and the Standard,
Safari
you
Rally
see-
must stay here.
all
So
right,
you see,
you'll see the president handing over the trophy to the winner. So if you didn't know the president was there, he clearly was there, Honorable Ishong. I want us to make progress. And the other story that is on the front page of the Standard, you'll see that not a day more, says ODM on Uhuru term. And of course, there has been talk about the impact of BBI on the timelines and whether, if cleared by the Court of Appeal, and if there's an appeal at the Supreme Court, still cleared, then it may necessitate a delay on the election. We've had from at least Francis Atoli, the Secretary General of Court, is saying that there would be no election until BBI is well dealt with. And Honorable Elachi, I know we have engaged on this at different times, but was there any consideration, would there be any necessity to delay an election whose timeline has been set in the Constitution to allow for BBI passage, if at all it is cleared by those other two levels?
I think I've always said that we have to respect the Constitution. We have a date of our election, let us go with, I mean, that is the date we will go for the election. So the issue of extending is not in the country of Kenya because the Constitution does not extend unless otherwise, you know. Because I've also said that we create a narrative and we are building on a narrative of something that I am wondering, is that what people want and they are not saying it, or what is it? Because if the Constitution gives you timelines, that this is when we come, this is when we get to our nominations, this is when we get to the campaigns, and this is when we go to August to the ballot, I think that is what Kenyans should follow. And Kenyans should appreciate that as we borrowed a lot from the American Constitution, it is always good to also to just agree that it's a constitution, we have to work that way. And now to start trying to blind ourselves and say we can use another route to, and say that we can change this date. I remember Parliament at one point, we wanted to change, I remember, to take it back to December. And there were reasons then that people were saying, that is the time we didn't have BBI or all these things. And we felt that in August, we come in and really find our children in a very awkward situation because they are normally in school. But it could not work. And so we agreed, we just follow what the Constitution says.
Okay.
I think that is what is still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know where, Senator Ledama, now you stand with the process of BBI because now it's at the Court of Appeal. But if we were to delay the Constitution, what must we, I mean the election, what must we do and what would even necessitate that?
I really don't know how, which provision of the law would we use to delay the elections, because the Constitution is quite clear in terms of the elections being held on second Tuesday in the 5th year of August. And if you count from the time when we got into office, the second Tuesday will be in 2022. So really, unless we amend the Constitution, which is going to be very difficult now because of the timelines, I don't see any way that we can do it legally. Now, does it mean that an election cannot be postponed? It can, but it can only be done so during an emergency, like war. I don't know whether COVID would be declared an emergency. So I really don't know. What I'm looking forward to is going through the election and bringing in change into this country that is really due, and trying to make sure that even the poor people can also be able to enjoy the fruits of independence. A lot of Kenyans are hurting right now, and I think the only way to do so is to be able to try and correct things which have been, really, really messed up in this country. So there's no way that the elections can be postponed. Right now, from where we all sit, the elections will be held in 2022. And that's what we should be focusing on. We should be looking, we should not, you see the problem that we have as Kenyans is that we're quite gullible. We are easily persuaded to be able to believe certain things are the right things for Kenyans, when we know that it is not the right thing for Kenya.
Right.
But as we stand, if we are a country that believes in the rule of law, then we've got no way that we can be able to extend the elections. They must be held